Boru Aboye. So this is Orisa Lifestyle for beginners. And when I say beginners, I mean anybody who has been introduced to the tradition within the last 5 years. Okay. Because, you may have been to Africa every year for the last 5 years, but you're still a beginner, right? Because there's verses to learn, there are oriki to learn, there are rituals to learn, there are ceremonies to learn, there are herbs and preparations to learn, there are foods to learn. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So the learning curve for a novice is really steep, and you just aren't going to download all of it within less than 5 years, right? So the beginner is anybody who in the last 5 to 10 years has just started to practice Orisa lifestyle. Okay, I'm talking to you. And the thing that I want you to know is that in spite of the fact that there's so much knowledge, there's so much practice, there's so many things for you to download, it all boils down to three very simple things though, right? And those three simple things are: number one, where do you start? Right? That's the first thing that you need to know. Where do you start? And I remember when I was playing BATA, I used to play a little bit of BATA, and it sounded like just chaos and skitter scatter in the beginning, right? I couldn't figure out what was going on until somebody introduced me to the concept of the one. Okay. Now, if you play music, obviously, you know how important the one is. The one is going to, determine the appropriateness of your play. Even if you have good technique and if you know what I'm saying, it feels funky, you like the way it sounds. If you're not in time, you're not playing the right part. Okay. So where you start is everything, and it all is determined relative to the one. Okay. And in this case, the one is you. It's your self-discovery. It's who you are. It's your ancestral promise. It's your natural gifts and talents. That's the one. The second thing that you absolutely need to know is, how do you maintain your position? How do you sustain the groove, so to speak, if we stay with the musical analogy? How do you stay in the pocket? All right. That is going to be determined by your daily practice. Okay. And your daily practice is going to be defined by the calendar. There is there are distinct calendars, and you need to know which calendar you're adhering to and what is, required for each day in that calendar. That's how you stay in the groove. And the third thing you need to know is why. Okay, you've got to know the reason, the purpose for doing what you're doing. Without knowing why you're doing what you're doing, you become just a technician. You become somebody who just can, follow a sequence of events, but you don't really have a sense of purpose for why what you're doing matches, which means you can't fully invest yourself in mind, body, and spirit into the process, because you're just doing the same thing no matter what, right? When you know why, then you're going to adjust your vibration and your frequency according to the real, the moment. You're going to be present in the moment when you know why you're doing what you're doing, right? And when I look across the spectrum of instruction, I think about my own teaching. Nobody is breaking down those three very simple lessons for you. No one is creating a process for you to, methodically and systematically practice self-discovery, have a daily practice, and discover the sacred service, the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And that's what makes what we do in the Orisa Lifestyle Academy so unique and so valuable to you. When you participate in the membership or the certification or the educational tours, these are things that are specifically designed to streamline your process and continuously bring you into contact with those three very simple but essential lessons. So I invite you to visit OrishaLifestyle.com. Start to take a very serious look at, what you need to know about who you are. Where are you going to get the opportunities to develop and cultivate your daily practice? And how can you continuously redefine and reinforce your sacred service that keeps you in alignment with the reason why all of this matters in the first place? Aboru, aboye, aboshishe.